Okay, are we on now? Can you guys hear me now? I think you can. I'm seeing my audio thing moving now. Still no sound? What in the world is going on here? Oh my gosh. Okay, wow. And I thought I had a really good intro there. So my computer did an automatic update overnight. It closed all of my programs, and I guess my OBS defaulted back to the default input device for microphone, meaning there was no sound. So that's frustrating. Sorry about that, you guys. Good thing I eventually looked at the chat. So we're going to restart. I'm going to trim this in post-production, and we're just going to assume that I just hit the live button. So I'm going to restart. Welcome back, you guys. It is February 12th of 2026. If this is your first time on the channel, if you're watching this in the live playback, what we do here is an overall wellness check on the crypto market. Once we've looked at the crypto market, we look at silver and gold. We move on to the Japanese bond market. We also look at the overall stock market. From there, we'll move on to various news topics going on here in the crypto space. There's a lot of great things going on, especially it's the end of Q1. This is the time that most developers release roadmaps, so there's a lot for us to look forward to. We'll be breaking that down very shortly. Before we get into anything else, I do want to make the announcement. Yesterday, we launched this channel's Discord. We're already up to 20 members. I've got the Discord link pinned in the live chat. So if you want to join, it's going to be there for the remainder of the stream. I highly recommend it. Most of you that are in the live stream are already in, but as we catch more viewers, we're only going to get this thing bigger and bigger. And what I'm really trying to do here is grow a think tank for like-minded people, especially those that like to converse with each other in the chat. This is a great way to keep the community together. And some of you guys have been sending me really cool stuff. Now, I want to give you guys a platform, if you are willing to do it, to actually come on the channel and talk about the research that you've done or share with us some of the ideas that you found in your own discoveries. Now, when I think about collaborating with other people, one of the things I'm very cautious about, especially with other creators, is platforming a conversation that might just be pushing a product or a brand. What I really like about this idea is I'm able to bring people from the community as an end user or someone on the receiving side of crypto, and we can have an unfiltered, genuine discussion about where we think the markets are going, what things that we've discovered, and something I'm really looking forward to. I think what we'll do in this at today's session in particular, around maybe 12 noon to 12:30, I'll see if I can grab some of you guys. We'll probably do this offline, at least for today, just to make sure that we handle all the technical details. As you guys know, I started the stream with my microphone disconnected, so want to work stuff like that out before we go live with it. But the idea here is that I want to be able to give you guys an opportunity to share your own findings with the community if you want to opt into something like that. And in general, it's a cool way to just get some more, community integration between, myself as the channel operator and then you guys as the viewers, because really without you guys, there is no channel. So, I love that you guys are here, but, I'd be nothing without you guys. So I'm going to go and say good morning to everybody, and then we are going to hop into the market update. So, let me make sure that I'm not reading all the, hey, your mic's not on comments. We got good morning, Gangsta. Good morning, Scorpio. Good morning, Pat. Thank you, Joe, for the membership. That's awesome. Good morning, Brittany. Good morning, Pat. I think I already said hi to Scorpio. Good morning, Kristen. Good morning, Gary. FRD, I think. Oh, and Steph and Peter. And then Gary's. I think we got everyone. 1TN. Oh, we got Ollie here as well. So hopefully I didn't miss anybody. And I'm sure we'll catch more people as the stream goes on. So this is all cool stuff. We've already got the channel up to, it looks like we've got just shy of 25 members. We only launched this thing yesterday, so this is really cool. Very much looking forward to seeing where all of this goes. So let me know. I've got a post here. I'm going to show my screen now. Okay, there we go. The sound's back. So I have a scene selection on OBS. Every time I switch scenes, I'm gonna have to restart the microphone. I had a mandatory update on my computer last night that basically booted my OBS back to default settings. But I think I should be good to go here. So technology can be frustrating sometimes. You know, yesterday on the XRP community update, they had microphone problems, and now here I am, I'm having my own. But it does look like I'm back in business here. So what I was trying to say was that if you want to be a guest on the stream, just leave an emoji right here in this message that says basically just that. I'd like to at least do some vetting. I want to make sure that you know, if we're going to do that, we need to make sure that, you know, people are not using profanity, people aren't necessarily bringing up topics that would be harmful to the live stream. So there will be a little bit of a vetting process, but if this is something you'd be interested in, join the Discord and come to here, let me know, and I'll connect with you guys offline. Real quick, I'm just going to update all of my scenes really fast just to make sure we don't have any more mic problems. This stuff is hello, hello. Okay, so this one's good. I'm just gonna go through all of them really fast just so we don't have this happen again. So this one's good. Is this one good? Okay, this one's good. No, I think this one's good. Okay, that's really good. Okay, now this one's good. Now I got one more. And this one is also good. Okay, cool. So that has been fixed. There we go. Okay, we're good. That shouldn't happen again until the next time my computer gets a mandatory reboot. By the way, I did it overnight. I didn't even ask it to do that. You guys know how Windows computers can be. So I'm going to hop over now to CoinMarketCap, and we're going to start things off with our update. Not a whole lot has happened in the past 24 hours in terms of price. So, you know, Bitcoin's hanging out still around $67,000. XRP's been moving a little bit downward. Hey, good morning, Dean. Dean, by the way, join the Discord. I don't think I've seen you in there yet. If you don't have Discord, I'll text you and we can figure that out. Good morning, Mill. So XRP, ooh, we just literally saw it drop down to 136. Ooh, 135. This is happening in real time, you guys. Since I started this stream just 15 minutes ago, XRP has slid from around $1.38 down to $1.36. I wonder if now would be a good opportunity to switch to this layout so we can see all these move in real time, because it does seem like right now is some pretty steep movement. We're catching this right now in real time. Hey Dean, there you go. Getting those coins out. If you guys want stuff like this, reach out to Dean. Dean's made my XRP coin. He's made the barrel lid, and he's got the hat as well. I don't have a hat yet, but we're gonna work on that. In general, he's got a lot of cool merch that he can make, and we're building things out. Maybe I can make a link for the XRP coins as well. Dean, we can talk about that later today. But Dean's a member right here on the channel, so if you're helping me out, you're helping Dean out, you're helping out your fellow XRP community, and you get some cool merch along with it. So we're watching in real time as XRP's moving down to the 136 range. We talked about it on stream a couple days ago. A lot of us seem to think XRP is probably going to continue going down. We might see $1.20. We might see even $1. Now, very briefly, it did touch 115 about a week ago, maybe 10 days ago. That was, I think, you know, I hate to say it, or maybe I like to say it, depending on your perspective. I think we probably end up back here, at least for a little bit. Will XRP fall below $1? That is the interesting question to ask. And so, you know, I'm seeing Chris bring it up right now. Let's just jump straight to it. Right now, we've got the stock market. Look at that. I mean, it's down 1% on the open. So when the stock market moves 1% downwards, that's usually a pretty big deal. And we can see this all started when the market opened. So if you didn't know, markets open 9:30 Eastern time. So the market's been open maybe close to 2 hours at this point. It's been it's fallen off a cliff. We're watching this happen in real time. Not too surprised by this. Actually, if I zoom out to 1 month, I'm a little surprised this hasn't happened sooner. I was expecting this. And truth be told, I'm not actually optimistic about the stock market's future. I think we're going to see some pullbacks here that is going to shock a lot of people. We've been talking about it on the channel since November, but jump into the JP10Y. It's only a matter of time before this becomes a serious problem. And I've got other videos kind of getting into the specifics why. And we maybe once in a while we can brush up on that just in case we got new people coming in. But I think at least here on the stream, most of you guys are up to date on this. It's only a matter of time before the Japanese bond market has a collapse, and that's going to have an extremely negative effect on the stock market. I'm not going to throw out necessarily predictions, but I could see a 10 to 20% drop in stocks that would not recover right away. I think that that's something that we would see probably last 6 months, 12 months, maybe even a little longer than that. Well, for us in crypto, I mean, we've already had our slaughtering. It's kind of about time that the stock market gets theirs. I'm very optimistic that crypto will recover far greater than the stock market will. And in fact, to that end, I'm not even worried about that. Joe says unemployment claims was steady, existing home sales missed. Released at 10:30. Now that is a headline. Let's see if we can find that. Existing home sales report. I love when you guys send me stuff because, we're like a think tank. I can't be everywhere all at once. So when you guys tell me topics, this is a great way for us to broaden our knowledge. Let's see if I can switch this to dark mode. Some sites have it, some sites don't. I'm not seeing any dark mode options here. Well, hopefully if you're watching this at night, maybe just turn the brightness on your phone down. So month over month, we have an 8.4 decrease in existing home sales, seasonally adjusted for the rate of 3.9 million in January. I mean, you guys, I look at Zillow from time to time in my own neighborhood, and I would not buy the houses in my own neighborhood for what they're going for. And I'm kind of a cheap guy to begin with, so I already bought a house that's kind of in the middle class to lower middle class range. Don't want to get too specific with those details. I have a hair on the microphone. I'm just going to grab it real quick. Not too specific those details, but it's really telling that when a house that is typically supposed to be what they call a starter home or a starter neighborhood, however you want to articulate that, if the starter neighborhoods are pricing people out, then all the other neighborhoods are even more priced out, right? So it's going to be hard to be buying a 3, 4, 5 bedroom home in this economy, and it's only going to get worse. I've had theories that I've shared with friends in the past. I've never brought this up on the channel, but I think the housing market in general is designed this way so that single family homes are going to start getting filled with multiple families. And in my own region, you guys know I'm from Michigan. I'll just say it. I'm from Michigan. I won't say the exact city I'm in, but I'm in the Detroit metropolitan. If you know what to look for, you can find evidence of, in some cases, multiple generations of families living in a single home. And you might even ask yourself, are they even of the same family tree lineage? So I'm not just saying like grandfather, father, son. I'm saying like grandfather, son, or father, uncles, cousins. I mean, in some cases, I'm talking about possibly 20 people in a single house. And you can see this just by being observant, going through certain neighborhoods. You can sometimes just see an enormous amount of people coming in and out of houses, or in general walking neighborhoods at levels that something sets a thing off in your brain that says, I'm seeing more people than what would make sense for this neighborhood. And maybe I'll leave that there. I know this gets into the territory that can kind of spark some heated discussions, but it's all related. You guys probably know what's going on in Minneapolis. I'll leave it there, but I just connect dots, and that's a dot that I've connected. It's something I've observed with my own eyes. So I'll leave that one there. I think most of you guys are probably on the same page with that, but, trying to keep this more crypto focused, so I try not to dive too far into that. But these things are related, though, and we do at some point have to talk about it, because if the idea is to cram 15, 20 people into homes, the only way that anyone could afford to live in those homes is to fill them up with as many taxable humans as possible. So think of all the people generating income tax living in a single house that might have, 15 to 20 adults living in it. And maybe 15 to 20 is a little excessive because I'm sure there's children as well, but most homes that we're used to would have a mother and a father, and those are the two adults. Maybe you've got some failure to launch son that's, gaming it up, playing Fortnite or Ark Lost Raiders. But that's kind of an anomaly. You don't have multiple 40-year-old aged men living in the same house. It's just not culturally what we've had here in the United States. I think there's a push for that. I think there's a push to get people out of rural neighborhoods in general and kind of cram them into city centers. And again, the global and geopolitics angle of this can't be separated from crypto. So it's something that we do have to talk about. I see the home issue as a deliberate move to try and force people into living in city centers. If you guys remember during the COVID era, they had this concept called the 15-minute city. I seem to think there's some credence to that we might be moving into that direction. And I'd like to kind of peel those onion layers back a little bit more over time, but I do feel like there's a time and place for that. But to wrap up Joe's comment here, these numbers don't surprise me, and I've seen it myself just in my own city. The housing market is not well, and most people's income is not well either. We're going through what they call stagflation, so prices are going up, but income is not. So every day that passes, you actually become poorer. If you don't own assets, you become poorer. And all of us that are in crypto, we probably already know that, despite the fact that we're all down like 50% on the year, but I digress. If you made a 100K salary in 2015, that was pretty good. 100K salary in 2015 was a pretty good salary. Today, 100K doesn't do much for you. In fact, 100K is maybe just a few years out from being an entry-level position now. The problem is, if let's say and I can speak to this with some experience, if you're an engineer or if you're an accountant or any one of these, STEM degree fields, you get your starting salary, you might get a 10% raise when you get your level promotion. So let's just say, for example, you hire in at level 5. They have these pay bands. That's how they articulate these things. You go from pay band 5 to pay band 6, they might give you a 10% raise. Outside of that, you're lucky to get a 3% raise year over year. Inflation has significantly outpaced that. So unless you're switching companies at regular intervals, you're actually becoming poorer as time goes on, staying at a single company. And it's really depressing to see that, because if there's no incentive to remain at a company, in my opinion, there's really not much incentive to do a good job. I have always thought that long-term planning is the best way to have outcomes. I mean, think about the people that were building cathedrals in Rome. They were building temples and cathedrals that they would not get to see the completion of. So they were building something bigger than themselves. In our current job climate, if it doesn't make sense to stay at a company longer than 2 years, all you're doing is you're going there doing the bare minimum to put it on a resume, and then you shop the resume around and you leave. And so who cares if what you were working on actually succeeds or not? These are all issues of a greater microcosm that it's a very troubling issue, and beyond just crypto, it's something I'm pretty passionate about talking about. I want to jump to HBAR real quick because I will be going to the HBAR Dev Conference that's on Tuesday in Denver. I think it's going to be a bit on the more technical side, so it might be a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but I think it'd be good for me to see, how does the code structure in HBAR actually work? Can I see what a smart contract looks like? Can I have them explain it to me in more than just financial terms, but how does this stuff actually work and how does it actually look? And then I can relay this information back to you guys. They were live, and I've got this thing up. We probably won't watch it because it's, they started at 10 a.m. I think it's done now. Maybe we take a little bit of look at this, or maybe I just link it to you guys and you can watch it at your own leisure. It is an hour long. I don't necessarily want to do back-to-back days of watching hour-long updates. But that is available for you guys. Maybe we'll take a poke at it closer to 12 noon. But I do think this is going to be a very technical demonstration. Maybe we just watch the first 10 minutes when it looks like they had some developer interview. So maybe we watch the first like 5-6 minutes of it, and then, you know, if you wanted to keep going, I'll have that linked there and you guys can watch that. But H-bar, another thing I'm very bullish on. For better or worse, H-bar is not as active on Twitter, so it's hard to, you know, find out what's going on unless they do a major announcement. Whereas we know on Flare, Hugo and the team are basically on Twitter all day long. Every couple of hours you check and they've got new tweets. May as well take a couple look at, how do I get this thing out here? In case you missed yesterday's stream, Hugo Fillion made the announcement, and we'll talk about this a little bit. The Firelight vaults are being increased the week of the 23rd. We don't know exactly which day. My best case here, or my best advice, and I guess let me rephrase that because none of this is financial advice. It's all my opinion and research purposes only. If you want to make sure you get into Firelight, have your FXRP pre-minted. And I'll do a video probably over the weekend or possibly closer to the 23rd. It does look like we've got a whole week. So maybe I make that video next Friday so that it's fresh in everyone's mind. I would really recommend having that FXRP ready to go because I don't know. What if the vault only goes up to 50 million? It could fill up in 24 hours again. I mean, that is I kind of hope it doesn't go that way, but that's a potential outcome. So if that does happen, you know, I'm going to be watching this thing like a hawk because I want to get more into Firelight. I'm putting more into Morpho. I think what I'm going to do, and I'm sometimes I get a little nervous doing this, but I'm going to true myself up to 1,000 to each. So I'm going to have 1,000 in Morpho and 1,000 in FXRP, which would tell anyone watching my channel that I've got a minimum of 2,000 XRP. Not a lot to worry about when XRP is only at $1.35. If XRP is trading at 1,000, okay, maybe things might start to get a little nerve-wracking, right? It's nothing to worry about right now, but it's just something that I do want people to think about. I've made the executive decision that I'm going to do it, so it's something I've put a lot of energy and thought into, and I decided I am going to do it. This tweet came out yesterday. Somebody in Paris was kidnapped. Was this really crypto related? Who knows? It's just a headline on a tweet. Look, Paris, London, Berlin, these are cities that have a serious crime problem that we don't necessarily share here in the United States, and we don't need to go down that road too much. But I guarantee if these two guys tried to walk into my house, the outcome would be a lot different. One way or another, I wouldn't be getting in the back of a vehicle, that's for sure. Doesn't mean I'm getting out of that situation intact, but you can bet that I'm not going to, maybe we don't go down that too much. But those of you here in the United States understand. That's why I'm not as worried as maybe some people tell me I should be. But, you know, this is something to think about. Be careful revealing how much you really have. I mean, is 2,000 XRP going to put me into a bad spot? Probably not. If I were to say, you know, like, I don't have 500,000 XRP, but if I did, that's the kind of thing that would be like, well, maybe I don't want people knowing that. So just something to think about. I think you guys here are pretty wise, probably already know that. I want to do a video later today about the XRP rich list because I've been looking at some of, you know, I did a video on this. It's a video that actually got my channel kind of started in a weird way. It was my third video, but it did 70,000 views. I haven't had a video come anywhere close to that since. But the XRP rich list continues to move down on nearly a weekly basis. I don't know if this updates daily, weekly, or what, but back when I made that original video, the top 1% holders was above 50,000. Now it's getting closer to 46,000. This tells me there's a lot of new buyers. So as more accounts buy, these numbers are going to go down because, you know, just how statistical averages work and percentiles. The more wallets you have, the people in this category, 1% and up, probably not going anywhere. I think it's going to be very hard for some of these people in the lower brackets down here to ever get inside of this area, if that makes sense. Not that it's a competition, but what this tells me, seeing this go down, tells me that there's a lot more retail getting into XRP. And we can see that there's also some validity to that because the total wallet count, we see a tremendous spike from December to, oh wait, no, oh, this is a week, a monthly thing. We can see even just this week, you know, we went from 7,500,000 wallets up to 7,600,000. So it looks like in the span of, how many days is this? 2 days? In the span of 2 days, there's been almost 130,000 new XRP wallets, you guys. People are buying. This is really cool stuff. And I think it's even more interesting to me, XRP being at $1.36, this number continues to go down. If you were someone who's putting their money where their mouth is, you could, in theory, leapfrog XRP holders that may have bought in the 2024 to 2025 timeframe and just bought a single time and never bought any more. You guys know here on the channel, we love dollar cost averaging. That is the ultimate tool for wealth accumulation. If you could aggressively dollar cost average, I'm not saying that it's entirely feasible that everybody could get into, you know, the top 1%, but if you wanted to get there, let's just take a look at what it would cost you right now. If you wanted at $1.36 to get into the 1% range, assuming that you have Coinbase Premium or whatever exchange you use does not require too many trading fees, you could be all in for $63,000. Now, look, I'm not saying to go out and find some way to have $63,000 to throw into this, but this is more like a thought experiment. I mean, you could break this thing down. If you were to put this into monthly payments, ask yourself this: could I, over the next 24 months, could I put $2,635 a month into XRP? Now, if you were to break that out weekly, then you're looking at this like, okay, could I stomach putting $660 a week into XRP, and how long could I sustain that? I know that's probably a very difficult number to hit unless you have, you know, a high-paying job, but there is an opportunity here for those that are bold, that they could jump into this range. And the reason this matters, it's not a wee showing contest. There's a finite supply of XRP, only 100 billion that could ever exist. Mind you, we don't know how many tokens have been lost to irresponsible transfers. Look, I'll be the first one to admit, I one time sent XRP, I sent a single token from my wallet to Coinbase, and I forgot to put the memo in. Thankfully, it was my test transaction, but you know, I threw an XRP token out the window. It's gone. No one's ever, well, I guess Coinbase might actually have that token. But how many people have accidentally sent XRP to faulty wallets. Maybe you accidentally tried to send XRP to a Flare wallet. Now that would be permanently lost. No one's ever getting that again. So there may not even be 100 billion XRP tokens anymore. Not considering the 34 billion or so that are still in escrow. Looking at this down here, we got 33.9 billion XRP still in escrow. So, you know, this is good stuff to kind of wrap your head around. Again, not a wee showing contest, but more just to understand that there is a finite supply of this. And getting anywhere into this range, you don't have to get to 1%. You can get to 5%. 7,700 XRP puts you in the top 5%. You hold on to this 10, 15 years, watch as the balance significantly drops over time. I mean, this thing moves down almost every week as it is. You give this 10 years, who knows, maybe 1,000 XRP puts you in the top 5%. If you've got 10,000 XRP, someday that could put you in a top 1% holder. You got to think, there's what, 8 billion people on Earth, something like that. You could not have all 8 billion people on Earth have 100 XRP each. It's not feasible. The math doesn't check out. So even having 100 XRP is better than having none. Now I see the chat moving, so I want to see what you guys are saying. I have a feeling it's average cost related, so let's just see here. Here we go. Gary's asking, what's everybody's dollar cost average? These are always fun things to talk about. Just make sure, guys, don't ever get too caught up in this stuff. Somebody's always gotten a better bag. Mill says 27 cents. It's got me beat by a couple bucks. Dang, dude. I won't read this one out loud just to protect your anonymity, but that's quite the bag that I'm reading here in the live chat. Now Steph says, I saw a video short last night, and the enrichless for 5% range used to need 10k XRP, but now it's 7,700. Yeah, I'm definitely doing this video later today because I want to talk about this too. Thankfully, I have footage of going over this list in a few different videos. I can kind of go back and see some of my old content to see what these charts looked like back then. Because there's no historic charts here. This isn't run by Ripple. This is a community created website here. And oddly enough, when I made that XRP video, the people that created this actually reached out to me to thank me for making the video. I asked them about the historic numbers, and they said that they didn't program that in. But that was very cool. It was kind of my first, like, whoa, this channel is actually doing something moment. But I want to cover this because I think it's a really interesting topic. And then here on the left is also some really good info. So let's just run this number here. Using my mental head math here, there's only about 30,000 accounts that have 100,000 XRP or more. That's a very small number. And then only about another 11,000 have 75. So if you were to be in the top 1%, again, not a wee showing contest, but if you were to have, let's see, what is it, 50,000 XRP or more, there's only maybe, let's see, how's this math work? That's basically 30, that's basically 30. There's basically only about 70,000 people that have more XRP than you, and I guess it shows it right here in this highlighted box. That's not considering how many institutions have wallets filled to the gills with this stuff. We know Coinbase has like over 20 wallets for XRP. I'm assuming the other exchanges have similar numbers of wallets. And then that's also not factoring in a lot of us also have multiple wallets. You know, just here on the channel, I've got a Decent and I've got a Bifrost. I have a Gemini as well. So, you know, that right there at least puts me at 3 wallets. Now, I have 2 Decent wallets, so that actually would put me at 4. So of the 7.5 million wallets that are out there, I account for 4 of them. Now, granted, only one of them actually has any substantial amount on it, but a wallet is still a wallet. This number really kind of paints a big picture. There's probably less than 3 or 4 million of us out there. So very cool stuff. As far as average cost goes, there's a lot of opportunity here to lower your average cost if you've been getting in at $2 or above. Just looking at the top left corner of my screen here, we're at $1.35. So if you were buying at like $2.50, I know for a long time XRP was kind of flat around the $3 range, probably for a couple of months. May as well pull that bad boy up so we can look at it. You know, from basically, let's see here, from July to October, that's about a 4-month stretch. XRP was really hanging out in that $3 range. And I know a lot of us were buying back then too. You're thinking about that right now. It's like, I'm almost at a 2.5 times input production at $1.35 than I was back then. So if you put in like $500 a month, what used to get you maybe 125 tokens now is getting you almost 400. Pretty substantial stuff. If your goal is to get your average cost down, now is the best time to do it. By the way, I have no idea what my average cost is, because once you remove your coin from Coinbase, your wallet will say the price was whatever it was when you made the transfer. So if you held your XRP on Coinbase for like 6 months, most people that are getting into this don't get a wallet right off the jump. You lose that information. So I have no idea what mine is. I'm assuming it's probably somewhere in the $1.80 to $2 range, but at this point there's really no way to know. Now Mill says something I very much agree with. People should be buying the absolute F-bomb out of Flare. Why? Early positioning. I'm looking at Flare right now the same way you could look at Amazon.com or Netflix. I mean, Flare is extremely new. They've only been, I don't want to say publicly traded, but their coin has only been traded since 2023. We're now at its all-time low category, but we're seeing all this amazing development coming out of it. May as well pull up the rich list for Flare as well. If you thought getting into the 1% was hard for XRP, we'll get a load of this. Or maybe not one. About 2 million Flare would put you in the top 1% of Flare. Right now, that would only cost you something like $18,000 to $19,000. And that's not even considering the fact that if you were to have that stuff delegated and staked, if you were to stake 1.5 million Flare, you would get to 2 million pretty quickly. I mean, maybe it would take a 2 or 3 years, but you would definitely get there. These numbers that we're looking at on the Flare rich list, they're not going to get bigger. So like, and what I mean by that is it's not going to get harder, or it's not going to get easier to get to 1 million as time goes on. So there's not going to be as many wallets out there with that kind of volume. And I'm looking at this, if I'm reading this correctly, there's only, okay, this is 3,500. This is 3,000. Well, let's just call this 7,000, 8,000. There's only about 9,000 wallets of Flare that are above 500K or more. So, and when Mill is saying here, you know, early positioning, if you could say that you're inside the top 10,000 holders in Flare, again, not that this is a wee showing contest, but Flare is also a finite supply. They do mint a new. There's some built-in inflation. It's pretty small though, and there's also a natural burn rate. So now that the Flare drops are over, the burning and the minting are going to cancel each other out. It's going to be pretty steady around 100 billion Flare. I mean, guys, if you're in the, I mean, we are so early on this, it's almost hard to wrap your head around. Oh, Gangsta asks a very good question here. If you could put a dollar number on how much money you would want to make via passive income to quit your job and enjoy your hobbies, what would that number be? For me, the bottom would probably have to be about $80,000 annually. And that's not considering the taxes on that either. If I was making $80,000 annually just from staking, I mean, guys, that's money that's quite literally making money in your sleep. If I needed to, I could find other avenues to generate small amounts of income, for example, this YouTube channel. But if you're not a YouTuber, you could, you know, whatever your hobby is, there's usually some way that you can monetize it. Like if you love golf, you could just moonlight as a golf coach, you know, put out some Facebook ads. Hey, book me for an $80 lesson, stuff like that. All it would have to do is generate 10 to 15 grand a year. I'd have to imagine most people could live on $100,000 annually, especially if you're no longer contributing to assets and you're just trying to live on that income. I think 100K is pretty livable. And that would be, for me, that's the bottom. I don't have a top. Does anyone really have a top? I mean, if you're going to tell me I could collect $10 million cash annually, am I going to say no to that? Of course not. I'd say getting to about 80K annual. Once you cross that, it's like I can take my foot off the gas. You can quit the job. You don't like your job, you quit it. You don't like your neighborhood, move out. It's just things like that start to really open up around that 80K annual from the yield. If you want to continue working, then that is a massive accelerator. So, ooh, great comment from Mill here. Let me provide some real world numbers. Mill makes 96K a year in passive income. Monthly expenses are $6,000 and still have over 2K a month to spare. You guys, that's the beauty right there, because Mill is never going to have to sell his asset. So he's protected from ever running out. I mean, that's like the infinite money glitch. If Mill was immortal, you know, if he had that adrenochrome flowing through his veins, I mean, he could self-sustain himself for hundreds of years, because those assets are just going to keep growing. And, you know, I have this analogy. Let's put it this way. I like using analogies. It's like planting a forest, right? Like if you chop your tree down as it's growing to use it for firewood, the tree is gone. But if you plant a forest and you give it a couple decades, you could have bonfires for life just by collecting the brush that falls off the tree. And then you literally never have to, you don't even have to cut down a tree. You just say, oh, we got some sticks on the ground. Maybe once in a while I'll saw a branch off or two, a nice big branch, it'll grow back. You could have more bonfires. I mean, you could have a bonfire running all day. You have so much wood that you say, I've got all this wood, I can't even burn it all. And that's kind of When you get to that level, that's when you can start becoming an influence in your own community. You know, if you want to get more involved with your church, you can build a church, build programs. You want to save the kids, get your own youth sports league going, something that kind of keeps them off the street. If you wanted to go the political route, you could fundraise your own campaigns. Elections are won based on who's campaigning, who's got the most money for it. If you can fundraise your own campaign, I mean, that's how Trump did it in 2016. At least in the beginning. I know all about Sheldon Adelson, but, you know, Trump was able to really fundraise a majority of his campaign, and that's why, at least in the Republican primaries, he was smashing everybody. I don't think Sheldon Adelson invested until he had already won the Republican nominee, but could be wrong about that. What else did we not look at yet? Haven't looked at silver. Silver is when I woke up this morning, it was $82. Now it's at 76. So we're looking at a red day. Everyone's red. Everyone's feeling the pain. Now I'm going to imagine gold is under 5,000. Yep. Wow, look at that. Gold, I mean, talk about falling off a cliff. Goes immediately from 5,060 all the way down to 4,800. I'm not going to pretend I know what's going on, but something is going on. Stock market is continuing to fall. Oh, it seems to have stabilized a little bit, but it's officially down 1% today. You know what's cool? For what it's worth, okay, XRP is also down, but usually when crypto takes a beating, it takes a hard beating. It seems like silver and gold have taken a harder beating today than crypto has. That could be good news for us. Oh, what's going on, Rated? Happy to see you here. Yeah, we got 40 of you guys on here. Make sure to hit the like button if you can. It really does help get this stream out to more people. And now that we're up to 40, good time to remind everyone, the Discord is officially live. If you're not already in the Discord, I'm going to pull it up real quick. I might even have a couple of you guys. Let me see if there's anyone that's tried to join since we started. Oh, I don't see any pending. That's fine. If you want to be a part of this, I've got the link in the live chat. It's a pinned comment. Join the Discord. This is going to help you stay up to date on everything going on inside of this own community. You know, there's already about 25 of you here. I mean, this thing's just going to keep growing. This is going to be a think tank for us to be able to really get, you know, our ideas flowing between each other. And then if you miss a stream, or, you know, if you're busy, you got things going on, the Discord's a great way for you guys to stay connected so that you still feel like you're a part of this, even if you can't always make the streams. And then on top of that, I think some more people have joined, so I want to kind of really hone in on this. Some of you guys have really good insights, and I'd like to give you the opportunity to share that, you know, on this channel. It's opt-in, so don't feel like I'm pressuring you guys, but if it's something that you want to do, when you join the Discord, go to the info tab, and I've got a post here. It says, if you'd like to be on the stream, just give me an emoji so that I know to reach out to you. And then what we'll do from there is I'll probably do like a 3 to 5 minute, like, you guys call it a vibe check. You know, I want to make sure that we're doing this smart. So I'd have to kind of approve you. But if you want to come on the channel, we talk about what you want, whatever you've been researching, whatever you've been finding. You could choose to go camera on. You could always leave it off. I would ask that you at least have a working microphone. Your cell phone or a laptop microphone will be fine. You don't have to have the gear set up that I have. Don't worry about that. But this is a really cool way for you guys to kind of, you know, get yourselves out there. And welcome aboard, Kiwi. This is a way that if you've been working on something, I know you guys send me stuff all the time, and I'd like to showcase some of it. And I'd like to be able to give you guys credit too. I don't want to take all of your ideas and pretend they're my own. So this would be a way for you guys to say, hey, here's something I've been working on. I mean, you guys know I've been doing my my Flare mini series, but some of you guys have sent me your own spreadsheets, or your own data collecting. This would be a cool way for you guys to be able to send that back out. So if you guys want, after this stream is done, if I could get maybe like 3 to 5 of you guys, nothing serious. I'd like to just see if we could do like a tech demo. So we just hop into the live stream chat. We'll talk for about a half hour. It wouldn't be anything serious. We probably wouldn't even post it. I just want to see if there's a, on the technical side, that if this thing is operational, and then we could then develop that into, okay, you've got this idea, come on the channel and we'll do a half-hour video and talk about it. So happy to see that you guys are joining the Discord, and we'll have more coming out as time goes on. One of you guys had a good question here. I got to roll it back up and see. Steve says, I can't psychologically buy XRP at over $1.35. I just can't do it. Hopefully it'll drop so we can all fill the bags very soon. I have to imagine that probably means that you've got quite a small average cost, which I think is awesome. I would offer some perspective though, and this is not financial advice and entertainment only, but more XRP is more XRP, right? That's the perspective I have. I think at some point I would probably shut it off. Maybe if XRP goes above $10, I'd be like, you know what? Maybe there's other things I could be spending this money on. But at $1.35, I mean, going back to our handy dandy calculator, at $1.35, if you put in, I got to like reverse engineer this. Let's just start from a blank. At $1.35, if you were just putting in, hold on. If you're just putting in $100 a month, nothing crazy. You know, it's still some exposure. I mean, you could pick up 75 XRP tokens at this price. Let's say it goes back up to $2. I should have known that was 50. You put it back to we get back to $2. You're still getting 50 XRP tokens, and you could just do that monthly. I mean, you know, it's not a lot, but considering where this is going, at some point in the future, if even 500 XRP is going to be crazy money. And this is a good way to segue into this. If you jump into FXRP with your XRP that you're buying, turn that into passive yield, and guys, this is going to blow the doors off the gate, blow the gate off the barn, or sometimes my analogies don't always hit. Firelight's getting expanded on the 23rd. I'm making sure that I don't miss this one, so I will be putting a good chunk of XRP into Firelight, and we'll put that as part of my spreadsheet. By the way, a good opportunity to pull that thing up and we can kind of look at it. I'm using Google Sheets. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm going to be furious if... Okay, there we go. My computer did a mandatory update. Oh, it can't delete Google because it's on the cloud. I wouldn't mind renaming this so I don't have to ever worry about it. I had a job where they were too cheap to get Microsoft Office, so we had to use Google Sheets. Man, I hated it. Oh, that made me furious. I don't have Microsoft Office on this computer for obvious reasons. I don't want to pay for it, but man, is Google Sheets just a piece of garbage. That's just how I feel about it. I'm gonna real quickly, since we're here, let's see what movement we've had on Flare. I'm gonna connect my wallets. This won't take too long. Pays to have 2 monitors. All right, gotta log my thing in. Gotta log my thing. Connect the wallet. Connect the wallet. There we go. Let's see what we got. We got nothing to claim. This makes sense. We probably won't have anything to claim for at least another 14 days. I highlighted the box. I think it'll come in. I think February 25th is when we're gonna get our next stake reward. That would make sense, as yesterday is when we got the 51 flare. It was a little bit smaller than I wanted it to be, but that's life. Let's see, do we have any delegation to claim? Nothing today. We're gonna jump over to the collateral pools next and see what we got there. So, you guys, I'm on this site basically every day. I've like memorized its layout. Go to Mint. I'm gonna connect the wallets again. This will take me just a second, you guys. I'm getting pretty good at the workflow here. By the way, if you guys have Xammon Wallet, let me know if you guys like it. I'm using Bifrost, but they're always talking about Xammon over there at Ripple. Okay, nothing too crazy here. We've generated a pretty crazy amount of flare overnight. Yesterday I had 50,076.41. Today I have 50,076.44, you guys. We generated like 0.00003 cents overnight. Obviously, I'm just being funny here, but this thing tends to pay out pretty well on the epoch schedule. So I'm thinking, you know, it's been 4 days since the last epoch. If I go to Catalytica, I bet it's coming up soon. In fact, it's coming out in almost, okay, in the next hour. Yeah, in the next hour, we're going to get another reward. So maybe I should just wait. Maybe I should just wait to do this until later today. And then we'll have better data. So this is going to be 2 p.m. Eastern time is when we expect this to hit. So I'm going to leave this blank for now. But let's check out my collateral pool, see how that's moving. Sometimes this moves on its own. So continuing to generate, continuing to generate FXRP here. I think what I'm gonna do, I've got 500 XRP here sitting ready for me to mint it. I might bump this up a little bit more than what it is right now. Right now I've got 300 in Mystic and Morpho, or in Mystic and Firelight. I think I want to bump both of those up to 1,000. So I should, and I'm also going to do it on a video. That way people that may not have done this before can watch me do it. I feel like as many times as I can do this, the better, because you never know when people are finding this channel. So, by the way, there's 43 of you. If you guys could like the stream, every bit helps. If you don't know how to mint a Flare asset, very, very easy. You just need to have XRP. That's the easy one. You need to have at least a little bit of Flare for, what you may call it, for the minting fees. You don't have to have collateral, by the way. I'm getting yield on my collateral, but you don't need collateral to mint. So just kind of keep that in mind. I see something from Gary. I want to hit that in a second, but just so I don't lose my train of thought here, if I wanted to mint 500 FXRP, they mint in lots of 10. I'd have to mint 50 lots. Something you should be aware of, you have to have a minimum balance of 13 to even do this, which means you need to have a minimum of 3 XRP to even get one lot, right? So if I had 13 in there, I could get one lot. You still need to have that 3 XRP. That's why I have about 5 sitting in here that will cover the minting fee, but there's also you'll see it down here below. There's a minting fee. It's nothing crazy. It would cost me half an XRP to mint 500. Not a lot. It's not a big deal. Need not about 9 flare to execute this transaction. So I don't think it'll let me type in 100. Yeah, it won't let me. But basically, I'm going to probably mint 1,400 FXRP sometime next week. That way, if I'm going to do it anyway, I'll just do it right now. So I'm just going to mint more anyways. I'm just going to do it right now. F word. F word it. I'm going to go with AU because I always do. You can choose whatever agent you want. I don't know if statistically there's any difference. They all have a 0.1 mint fee. Why did I go with AU? Because it's the name I recognize. Why? It's not any more complicated than that. So I'm just going to do this now because I want to. I'm going to mint more FXRP next week, but I have the XRP here. I may as well just stick it into Morpho. Why sit on this money if I don't have to? So right now on my screen, I have the confirmation details. I'm just going to hit confirm. And by the way, if you guys are having trouble following along, I'm going to have a video where I'll show my phone screen. That way you can see it. But you guys can at least see the Mint FXRP screen. It's moving along. I got the stuff here. I just got to confirm it. The Bifrost wallet is super easy to use, you guys. You know I don't like hot wallets, but my goodness, their user interface is very, very nice. In fact, if you really wanted to, you could do all of this from the Bifrost app. It's just I can't share my phone screen on a stream quite the way I could if I was on my computer. So that's why I do it on the computer. We'll get this thing minted. I'm going to throw it into Morpho. I don't think you guys can actually see my full wallet, so maybe I don't need to be as paranoid as I've been. You can see a couple letters, but it's like a 30-character long wallet. If you can see 8 of the letters, you're still not getting the full wallet details out of that. What's going on, Aman? While this mints is a good opportunity to start looking over, I saw some comments that might have been insinuating there's a electrical issue coming our way. I believe it was from Gary. Now, if I'm picking up what you're putting down, I think when you say what's about to happen, are we talking about an energy crisis here where the electrical grid goes down? That could be something. I've heard rumblings of stuff like that before. I want to hit some of these other ones while I give you a chance to elaborate on that. Gangsta says people would be begging for these prices once time does its thing. Absolutely, people always. Hindsight's 2020. We're currently in the hindsight right now, and we have the foresight to recognize that. Not trying to be corny there, but I was in on AMC stock before it's run to $2 and sold at 70. I did too, actually. I made 15K off that. I recall so many people wishing they purchased it when it was at the $2 to $9 range. Yeah, when GameStop started ripping, I was like, all right, time to hop on to AMC because It's one of those things, by the way, this thing just finished minting. It's one of those things, right, where you're like, oh, this thing has already missed, but this thing over here is starting to rip. I'm going to get on that thing. I got on AMC. I got out at $70 or something like that. The next one I went for was Clover. I got whooped on Clover. I don't know if you guys remember that one. It was part of the AMC GameStop kerfuffle. Hey, Shelby, if you want, this is entirely up to you. No pressure, but you guys have been asking me to start monetizing better. I'm going to give you the Gemini credit card link. If you sign up to Gemini through that link, that is a crypto credit card. I think all you have to do is quite literally buy one thing with it. If I understand it correctly, you could buy a cup of coffee with it. If you don't like it, never use it again. We would still both get a $50 crypto reward towards whatever coin you choose your rewards in. So that's up to you. The link is in the chat if you want it. And that goes for anyone else, by the way. This is a win-win situation. I have my Gemini credit card right here. I do use it. It's the only card I use. I stopped using my Costco credit card for anything that's not at Costco. I've currently generated. Maybe this will really be the sweet one. I'm gonna unshare the screen so that it goes up. I want it to go to full screen here. No, not that one. All right. I don't know how well you guys are gonna be able to see this, but since I've had the card, is this thing focusing? Oh, there we go. Okay, that's kind of working. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but I've generated just shy of 200 XRP tokens with the Gemini credit card. This was all stuff I was going to be buying anyways. Yeah, there we go. So you guys can see, is it focusing? Yeah, there we go. 186 since I got it in October or whenever it came out. I think it was October. It was already stuff I was buying anyways. You go to the restaurant with the friends. Bill comes to the table. You got 4 friends. They don't split the bill. You say, "Don't worry, guys. Just Venmo me. I got it." And boom, you get 3% on all restaurant meals. So you go to the dinner, you collect the Venmo payments from your friends, and you get 3, 4, 5 XRP out of the ordeal. I think it's pretty awesome. I'm going to be getting the Uphold card at some point in the future. I just have been lazy. The thing about the Uphold card is you can have direct deposit for paychecks, and since I'm not really collecting a paycheck right now, I don't have it. But if I were to ever return to work, I would still stream, by the way. If I ever return to work, I would have direct deposit going to that Uphold card. Yeah, there we go. app.mysticfinance.xyz. Just gotta make sure, you guys. This is the real one. If you're gonna do Morpho, if it doesn't say app.mysticfinance.xyz, it's not the real one. I hate that we have to do this stuff, but the scammers are out of control, you guys. Out of control. I'm gonna put 500 FXRP into this right now. Boom. So I'm gonna go here to, oh no. Oh no. I have 499.98. It might not let me. Oh, that's a real, maybe it will. Let's just see what happens. Will it let me? I guess we'll find out. Oh, ooh, by the way, got 26.56. That's going in the spreadsheet. What is that? 25. What was it? What was it? Oh, 26. 26.56. I've been in Morpho since February 4th. It has generated for me 26 flare tokens. Maybe that's not a lot, you know, but I've only had 300 XRP in it. I bet I'm gonna put this thing up to 1,000. I'll true it up to 1,000, but I mean, this is XRP that was currently not doing anything, so any little bit is good. Anything is better than zero, right? Yeah, rated. If you're talking about the Gemini credit card, very easy to set up. This thing will just give you XRP when you buy stuff, and it's instant. So if I were to swipe, if I go to Starbucks after this stream and I grab a coffee, in the same amount of time that it takes for this thing to hit my bill or like hit my account, the XRP tokens go into my Gemini wallet. Very cool stuff. What's going on, Robbie? Robbie's one of my IRL friends. Ooh, yes. Also, you guys are right. I need to be monetizing better. My Decent link is also in the description of this live stream. So if you need a wallet, I use Decent. I only use Bifrost for these video experiments because Decent doesn't have integration with Flare assets yet. Robbie says, I may have missed it, but do you have any referral links for crypto sites? Robbie, it is right above, actually. And Robbie, if you want, I mean, since we're buddies in real life, very easy for you to get a hold of me after the stream. I could show you how to get this thing set up. It's very easy. And at that point, do you have Coinbase? I could send you a Coinbase referral, and then we'd both get $30 if you signed up for that as well. Some more cool stuff with that. I think someone was telling me I should start doing Kraken referrals. I think that was Mill. And maybe I'll get on that. Maybe I'll just be your one-stop shop for referral bonuses. Because if I get something, you get something. It's a mutual benefit. All right, without further ado, oh, I had to hit confirm on this thing. You guys, I got sidetracked. So I'm on Morpho right now. You're probably not going to see it that well, but here's my confirmation screen. I just hit it. Or at least I think I hit it. There we go. Oh, it wants me to do my face. There we go. Super easy stuff. You guys, the Bifrost wallet, for what it's worth, is pretty good. Just, if you're going to use Bifrost, just turn your Wi-Fi off when you go out in public. It's probably a best case to be doing that anyways. All right, boom, there we go. I don't know if you guys can see this font very well. It's kind of small here. We've got 800 FXRP. It's technically 799.9, but I'm going to be putting 800 in the spreadsheet. I hope you guys don't mind. We would call that in the finance professional space, we would call that immaterial. And that's what we're going to call it. That fractional difference is immaterial. Can at least log my prices. We got $1.36. Boom. Drag this bad boy down. We got 11,000 FXRP. Woo! It's only gonna get bigger next week. I'll make that a pre-recorded video because I know not everybody can make the streams. My FXRP reward was 0.15 if I had that right. Did I have that right? Was it 0.15? It was. In case you missed it, the the epoch goes out for flare at 2 p.m. So I'm just gonna wait for the epoch. Otherwise, the data will be screwy. So I'm just gonna wait. We got everything else. So when those, I'm probably not going to be streaming at 2 p.m. but we'll update this wrap flare in case you missed it yesterday. When you claim a staked reward for flare, it gives you the option to wrap it or to put it in the unwrapped pool. I put it in the wrapped pool because we're going to see in column C what my delegation reward is anyways. And I don't want to have tokens just sitting there doing nothing. And I figured most of the people following along at home aren't going to do that either. So I made the decision to put my staked rewards into my wrapped flare pool. And so that's how you can kind of see, even though there was no delegation reward on the 11th, I still added 51 to that total. Just so you guys are aware. But what's really cool, since we've been doing this, we've only been doing this really about 10 days. It hasn't even been a full 2 weeks yet. My flare balance, at least on this wallet, which, reminder guys, I'm doing this with the bare minimum amount of flare it took to do this experiment. I'm already up 200 flare on my main wallet, which won't get into the specifics, but I'm getting hundreds of flare on a weekly basis. So like this number for like my main wallet is just like, if you think about holding this for 3-4 years, like I'm gonna go up like a 1.5 times just by chilling in my staked portfolio. These things just have a crazy way of compounding. I have a feeling on the other side of price appreciation for flare, the APYs will probably go down. We'll have to see if that plays out. I have a feeling it will, though. I have a hard time believing that Flare is going to have a 15% APY on staking, even when Flare is $1. I don't necessarily see that happening, but that's even more reason to do it now, because unlike getting dividend yields on like a dividend stock, you're getting more Flare. So it's like you get 15% on the Flare you have now. Down the road, when Flare goes $1, if the reward goes down a little bit, so what? Your Flare is already just like enormously stacked. But we'll have to see how that plays out. I see you guys are talking about the cards. Let me catch up real quick. Rated Russian asks, if I pay bills with the card, does that work, or do you have to buy something for it to work on rewards? No, all it takes is a transaction. You know, I pay a lot of stuff with the Gemini card. But Amon's point is right. You have to get through a full billing cycle. So let's say you get your water bill. You can pay that water bill. You won't get the reward until the next month because it has to go through the whole payment statement. So bear that in mind. Like if you were to pay something in February, you probably wouldn't get the reward until March or maybe even April, depending on the timeline. Can you disable the face scan on Bifrost? Yeah, you can. I just have it enabled because it's just a quality of life thing for me. But that's an opt-in feature that you can disable. Let's see what we got here. Is there anything else to show for this spreadsheet before we move on? Oh, by the way, I see there's 46 of you guys in here. It looks like we're getting more and more people. I just want to, I'm going to say it again. We launched our Discord yesterday. It's still brand new. I'm seeing that you guys are funneling in real time. If you just joined the stream, if you want to be a part of our community, join my Discord. It's linked in the pinned comment. And this is going to be like a crypto think tank. So a lot of you guys have a lot of sidebar conversations. You can keep doing those in the Discord. we can build this out to be as big as you guys want it to be. And when you guys have interesting topics that you want to share, instead of just sending it to me and asking if I can make a video on it, I bring you guys on and I'll just let you have the floor, and I'll say, hey guys, here's XYZ from the channel. He's got this really great research, or she's got this really great research she wants to share with the community. I'm going to let her talk about it, or let him or her talk about it. They can do their thing. And we can basically orchestrate this in my voice chat channels. So I've got a few different channels here. We've got the general. You guys just want to hang out here, talk, whatever. This channel is there for that. Maybe sometimes I'll come in here and stream some video games, since you guys have been asking me to do that. I have another channel specifically for community members. If you want to become a member, it's just $1 a month. There are higher options in case you wanted to really support the channel, but just be aware that for the most part, members across the board are getting the same benefits. So it's really just, you know, how much do you want to support? It's not like going to the $10 route is going to magically make you a bunch of extra features or whatever. Maybe at least not for now. We'll build this thing out over time. But if you want to be a part of actual content, basically what we'll do, if I do, and we're not going to do it today because I want to flesh this thing out a little bit more. But if you guys wanted to have like for example, it's 12:30 now. Maybe we do like a half-hour segment where I pull you guys in. As long as you're someone that I've approved can be on the channel. You know, I got to do some vetting. What I would do is I'd have you go to the waiting room, and then I'd be in the live stream chat, and I would just pull you guys in. So myself and Rated Russian yesterday, we kind of did a dry run of this, just the two of us, and also Aman. I don't think we're going to do that today, you guys, but maybe if you want to hop in once I end the stream, we can hop into a chat room, just see what it's like to talk for about a half hour and just see how that goes. Keith says, can't accept an invite. What do you mean by that? Could you kind of flesh that out a little bit? By the way, I'm seeing from Dean that the XRP coins just went live, so let's pull this up. So if you want an XRP coin, it's the same one I've got, minus I have some custom embroidery that has my name on it. Dean could still probably get that for you. Go to add to cart. If you type in promo code Andrew, that will take $3 off. So I'm going to start linking this stuff in my main videos as well. It's just a way to kind of help each other out and get some cool memorabilia out of it as well. He's got a really cool hat. So, by the way, he's got other stuff too. I mean, he's got a whole website. I guess, Dean, this is a question for you. Are they able to use promo code Andrew on some of this other stuff? Like if I were to just click on like a laser engraved tumbler, for example. Let's just say I wanted, let's go with pink because I'm feeling zesty today. Let's just say I went with pink. Could I put promo code Andrew in here? Would that still work? It doesn't look like it. We could talk about that later. Just wanted to see how that would work, but yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So the promo code only works on the XRP stuff, and we will get that fleshed out. Keith, I saw you were asking about why aren't the names listed out here? I don't. Still new to Discord, guys, so bear with me. I might be a little slow. Keith, did you try to join and it wouldn't let you? I don't know. I'll wait for you to reply. But yeah, if you want to join, all you got to do is hit the link, and then I'll accept you guys, and then everyone across the board has access to all of these channels. If you want increased access, you just gotta become a member. All you get is the membership chat. Otherwise, you get basically everything from the Discord. I do have it as approval only so that we don't just have random people joining the Discord and causing problems. So that was kind of a layer of security on my end. We'll see. As things get bigger, I might ask some of you guys if you want to become mods. If that's something that you would be interested in, let me know. Okay, Keith, I'm going to send you a new link. I'm going to send you a new link. Let's see what happens. I'm just going to post it right now. What's your... For some reason, I can't see people's names. I don't know if Discord knows that I'm sharing or if this is a privacy thing. Is this you? It looks like a duck drinking something out of a straw. If that's you, because it starts with a K and it was an hour ago. There's also a kiwi sake, but I don't think that's... let me know. And if there's any trouble, just send me a direct message on Discord. I can put my Discord name here. So we can figure that out. We've got about, I think we're close to 30 people, you guys. This is pretty sweet. This is definitely coming along pretty well now. We only launched this thing yesterday, so pretty cool stuff. I'm going to jump back to, we got the spreadsheet. We already covered this. We covered the rich list. Epoch reward goes out in an hour, so we'll update that later. It says it's not working on your end. Can't accept. Huh. I don't know. Maybe we could like connect offline. If you want, send me a message directly on Discord if you can. And then maybe we could figure it out. Maybe we'll do that off the stream so that not everyone else is getting bored. But yeah, if you guys want to hang around, I'm gonna make a little thing here on the general chat. If you guys want to do an experiment after this stream, let me know by leaving an emoji. So if you guys want to be a part of that, well, I don't think we're going to post anything. It's just I want to see if we can get a chat channel going up and see if we can kind of kick around some ideas. And this would be like an experiment. Just interact with this if you want to be a part of that. And if I get like 3 or 4 of you, that'll be good. Otherwise, maybe I'll just... I know that Mill and I are going to work on a video soon. Maybe I just talk with Mill. We at least got him on, so that's good. I'll let this thing sit for a minute and see how many of you guys are interested. All right, so we've got, all right, cool. I think 3 is a party, so we can work with that. I'll probably end this stream exactly at 1 so that we can get cracking on that. But in the meantime, I can keep addressing the comments. Russian asks, how do we get 50 each? Just by pushing on the link and signing up. Yeah, so basically what you'd have to do is go through the process of getting the credit card and then sorry, I had a brain fart there. So once you get the credit card, you just have to buy something. And then at the next billing cycle, you'll get the reward. So, you know, it's February 12th. Let's say that you got your card. You'll get a digital card, by the way. You could possibly even have it by today. If you just went to Starbucks, used Apple Pay, you know, to click the side of your iPhone, buy a Starbucks coffee or something with your XRP card, when you have to pay the bill on that card, so it would probably show up either in the March billing cycle or the April billing cycle, then you would get the $50 reward. So that would be how that works. And for Keith, I want to we got Scorpio. Oh, I hope I didn't accidentally reject you. Okay, I didn't reject anyone. If you're able to send me a direct message, then we could figure this thing out, because I want to help you get in this. Or how about this, Keith? I want to protect your privacy too, because I could message you if you felt comfortable putting your Discord name in the live chat. But I could also understand if you didn't want to do that. Is this? I think Discord's hiding the names because I might be. Oh, I'm on streamer mode. Okay, that's why. We could figure it out, Keith. As long as you have my username on Discord, look for me, send me a message, and we could help get you straightened out. And it looks like we got one more. We got welcome XRP Philosophy. Let's see here. Want to maximize your credit card returns? Find a site that allows you to set up all the payments you can pay with said card and then set it up. You're going to pay for gas, groceries, utilities, and rent. That's an interesting... Mill, I'd love to pick your brain on that because I actually don't know how to do that. That'll definitely be something that we can talk about. Let's see, is there anything else to look at before we start wrapping up? Maybe we just jump to Twitter real quick, see if anything's moved. And then Russian says that mint stuff is way over my head, but I have to look into that. Do you mean minting FXRP? Oh, okay, you guys are having some sidebar here. Russian, if you want, we went through minting the FXRP here a few minutes ago. But I'm gonna do a video. So I'm gonna when FXRP goes, or sorry, when Firelight opens back up, I'm gonna already have FXRP ready to jump into that. So I'll have a video probably coming out next Friday, just that way it's fresh in everyone's mind, so that they can do it over the weekend. And this video will be. I don't want to call it hand-holding, but I might do like some hand-holding of minting FXRP just to make it very, very easy to follow. And that includes having the face scanner for my Bifrost. From my perspective, it's a little difficult to edit those because I got to sync them all up. So that's why I can't really do it on stream, but very easy for me to do that as a pre-recorded video. Not to complain about editing videos. You guys, editing videos takes forever. That's why I don't put music in my videos. That's why I don't zoom the camera in or out or any of that stuff you guys have probably seen on other channels. I just turn the camera on and I talk. Ooh, I just saw this. Okay. From Austin Hill to Jeffrey E. Looks like Austin is saying, I'm still doing another project. Do you still want to proceed with Michael Casey your design work, or should I put things on hold? I still have a bunch of briefing material and research for you for Evernote. Let's see. This doesn't really say anything. some of these, oh, okay. Connecting some dots here. So game over, Coinbase suspends XRP. We know that happened. But this email is from 2017. I don't know. Some of this Twitter stuff, it's like very hard to make heads or tails out of what we're seeing. If there's any news to cover, otherwise we could just end this thing a little bit early. It's all Olympic stuff. P. Diddy. Oh, no, it's P. Diddy. It's Kevin Hart. I'm sorry, guys. I just assumed that was a Diddy video. Here we go. If you bought XRP above $3, now you're spending your time fudding on X. I've seen this. If you bought XRP above $3, now you're spending your time fudding on X, commenting hate under every post and doom scrolling XRP threads. Here's some real advice. Let's see what he has to say. If you still believe in the asset enough to follow it daily, the logical move isn't negativity, it's strategy. This is reading like a Bitcoin, or this is reading like a Chat GPT generated post. Instead of emotional tweeting, you could be dollar cost averaging. I do agree with that. Lowering your entry. I do agree. Positioning yourself properly. It's kind of a empty phrase. Doesn't really, what does that even really mean? And then thinking long-term instead of reacting short-term. I do agree with that. I've said this on the channel a few times. If someone was buying XRP above $3, I mean, you bought it after it went up 500%. I don't know what people were expecting. I guess they're expecting it to go to 100, but in general, yeah. I mean, you really don't want to be buying an asset after it has extreme price appreciation. That's usually not a winning strategy. But thankfully, we get a second time at bat. So anyone who bought in at $3 can kind of rectify that a little bit. Man, Twitter's nuts, dude. I don't look for these types of videos, but they always end up on my feed. So maybe we'll just, okay, we're just gonna get off Twitter for now. I'll tell you guys what, I'll probably need 10 minutes anyways to go to the bathroom. For those of you that want to hop in, and we'll just kind of kick the ball around a little bit, see if we can get this thing operational. We'll do that, let's just say at 1 o'clock. And then for the rest of you, thanks for hopping into the stream. I'm going to run to the bathroom, do some stuff. I'll be on Discord, so we can organize it on there. Got to let the dog out. I got to feed him as well. So let me run and take care of all that stuff, and we can kind of regroup in 10 minutes. If you guys want to hop in on this in the Discord channels. And even if you guys just want to hang out, if you don't necessarily want to contribute, but you just want to hang out, hop in. We can pull everybody in, because I'm not going to record this one. So this is one we could just kind of do for fun. With that, guys, appreciate everyone hopping in. See you guys in like 10 minutes for those that want to be a part of that. And see you guys in the morning, bright and early Friday.